nerds, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back, and if you're new, hey. Anyways, so today this will be the second video of our mental health awareness series. As you know, the month of May is all about mental health. Today we'll be talking about anxiety. There are different types of anxiety, but today I'll be focusing on generalized anxiety disorder rather than talking about the different facets. Maybe I'll do that in another video. Comment down below if you want to see the 6 different types of anxiety and a little bit about that. But anywho, in this video I'll be telling you what generalized anxiety disorder is, and I'll be giving you 10 top tips of how to cope with anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of unease, worry, or fear. The symptoms that come with this are different for every single person, individual differences of course, but it comes with rapid breathing, increased heart rate, fearfulness, worry, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, tremors. Comes with many different things. There are so many different ways to cope with anxiety, but these are my top 10 tips. Okay, so the first one. Avoid caffeine and avoid alcohol. These two things increase heart rate. And as I said before, anxiety comes with an increased heart rate. So if you have more caffeine, it can give you jitters. Same with alcohol. It doesn't really help the cause, if I'm honest with you. Like, it just makes you even more anxious than you already were. Especially with caffeine, it really does increase your heart rate so much more. And if you're trying to get your heart rate to the minimum or just get it back to baseline, it doesn't really help the cause, does it? If you're, drinking more coffee, even though you know that's going to make you feel even more anxious. So yeah, definitely avoid that. Another point is to take time out. Literally, take time out. If you feel like you're getting anxious or you feel like you're getting panicky, remove yourself from the situation. Whether you're doing some work and you're not really understanding it, you're watching something, it's giving you a bit of stress, get up, leave and do something you're interested in. I like to put my earphones in and listen to some music. It helps me ease, it helps me calm down. For some people, they like to do some yoga or do some exercise, but whatever it is, take time out. Another point is to take deep breaths. And I know that sounds so silly, but take deep breaths because you want to get your heart rate back to normal. Breathing will obviously help your heart rate get back to normal. So if you feel a panic or an overwhelming feeling of fear, breathe. Take your deep breaths. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you feel like you look silly. Take your deep breaths to help yourself get back to a normal heart rate. Another point, talk to someone you can confide in. Talk to someone who's quite supportive, someone who knows what you're going through, so you don't have to re-explain yourself to a stranger or something. But talk to them, tell them what's going on, tell them hey, I cannot cope, this is just doing my head in, and maybe they can distract you or take your thoughts away from that, because you don't want to be thinking about what you're anxious about, because you're just going to become more anxious. Exercise daily. That's another point. Exercise. Keep exercising. Work out your stress and work out your fears rather than having it all in, work it all out. Obviously these tips might not work for you, but these are just the things that I personally feel like work for me. You must accept the lack of control. Normally people feel quite anxious. I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but for me personally, I always get quite anxious when I feel like I have a lack of control. Whether it's something as simple as being late, I feel like I have lack of control, especially if you've gone out of your way to try and be as early as possible, and then you get on the bus and there's traffic and you can't control that, but you have to accept that I have no control of the situation rather than being anxious. This is really hard, I can't lie to you, because if I'm on the bus and I know that I have to be somewhere at 8 and it's 7:50 and I have 10 minutes to get there, that's going to make me feel stressed out. That's going to make me feel anxious because I can't do anything about it. But that's the thing, you have to accept that you can't do anything about it. Maintain a positive attitude. This is the hardest thing I'd say. I think this is the hardest of all the things I'm going to say. This is the hardest because you have to consciously change your negative thoughts and put in positive thoughts as a replacement. But this helps out so much because you'll feel so much better and less anxious because you have the positive thoughts in your mind. As soon as you have a negative thought, you reboot and you give yourself a positive thought. That is a major tip. But as I said before, it can be quite difficult because if you have a very pessimistic view of life, it is quite difficult to have an optimistic view of life. Obviously, it doesn't have to be that extreme. Just try and implement more positive ways of looking at things rather than being extremely negative. Because I tell you, that's not going to help you. Therapy. Oh, therapy. Therapy is such a good one. Get yourself some counseling. Talking therapy, that's what counseling is. Or get yourself some CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. Get yourself some mindful training. Talk about things that make you anxious. Talk about why you feel that way. Talk about why your heart rate goes up. Talk about why your breathing is intense, why you're sweating. Talk about everything. The more you talk it out, the more you rationalize your fears and the more you rationalize how you're feeling. This is why therapy is so good. Literally, when you talk about it, that's when you really notice, like, oh, so that's why I'm feeling that way. Or I was scared of this because of this. Or this is happening because I felt this way towards that. And normally, when we feel anxious, it's very much linked to some deeper fears. Not always, but like sometimes it is. So like talking about it helps quite a bit. Another point is to sleep. There is no point staying up and thinking and dwelling about things that you cannot change. Again, these things are not that easy. It's not that simple to just be like, I'm going to put away all my overthinking and just go to bed. I'm going to put away all my overwhelming stuff and just go to bed. It's really hard, but these are the 10 top tips that will help you. It's guaranteed to help you. It will definitely help. It's not easy. It's very challenging, but it's going to help you. So yeah, sleep. Rather than thinking, just sleep. If you have to put on a movie to put yourself to sleep, put yourself to sleep. If you've got to play some music, play that music and put yourself to sleep. If you've got to scroll on the internet to make yourself bored, then go for it. But please get your sleep. And the last point, religion. Religious counsel helps so many people out, whether it's feelings of doubt and feeling like a massive fear within your heart, whether it's something as simple as not being able to deal with a lack of control. Religion can really help if you confide in God. I mean, I know that everyone doesn't believe in God, and I know we all have maybe different types of gods or different visions of God or mantras or whatever. Confide in what you know best. I'm a Christian, I believe in God. So if I'm anxious, I should pray. As I said before, these things are harder. Like it's easier said than done, honestly, because if I'm having a panic attack, the last thing I'm going to think about is, yeah, let me get on my knees and pray. Of course not. Like that's not going to happen. But like sometimes it does help to have, like pray about things in advance, or like, oh, I'm anxious, Lord. Can you help me with this, that, and the other? Obviously, like everyone's different. And that's not like the first thing that I do. If I'm having a panic attack, you best believe I'm getting some water, or I need help to get my heart rate back down. Those are my top 10 tips. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And please comment down below any other mental health things you want me to talk about, as it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Bye, nerds.